There we go. Alright, sorry for the delay, folks. Sorry for the delay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is now 5:38. I have been on the air for a while now, but apparently it was not streaming. And thankfully, my mother pointed out to me, she is on my ear. Thankfully, she pointed out to me that I was not streaming. But I am here. I appreciate your patience in this. That was something I have to get worked out. I have a brand new system here, and so everything looks just a little bit different than it used to, and it's not doing exactly what I expect it to do when I expect it to do it. And if you know anything about me or the men in my family, you will know that that means we are ready to throw things across the room. Oh my goodness. So anyway, as I was saying, we've done quite a few cats lately. Pumas, mountain lions. I think we even actually did a tiger the other day. I just did a real quick composition because I have him on the table in perspective coming at me. I have no idea why this is showing the way it's showing to me. I don't want it to show like this. I don't know why. Everything just changed on my system, on my display. Let me know if the camera changes. I have no idea what's going on up there. But if nothing else, you'll be able to see me you'll be able to see what I'm doing from overhead. Anyway, this model is from the Houston Zoo. I like to get souvenirs when I go places like the zoo or SeaWorld or anything like that. I like to get souvenirs and have more toys for the randomogrifier. So it's not entirely accurate anatomically, but it's cute and it's close enough, and it's very reminiscent to me of maybe a playful version of Shere Kahn. Shere Kahn, of course, the antagonist from the Jungle Book. I don't know if you've ever read the Jungle Book. The book is, Rudyard Kipling's book is way different than the Disney movie. But I think that's almost always the case. I think the Disney movies are almost always made just a little more child friendly. But I think in the instance of Shere Kahn, I think the Disney movie made him more interesting. What's my mom saying no about? The random nose in my ear kind of scare me. I don't even know why it's doing this. My screen is transitioning in a weird way. My screen is transitioning in a weird way, and I don't even know why it's transitioning that way. Anyway, I think the Disney version of Shere Kahn was way more interesting than Rudyard Kipling's book. Ivy, we were having some gremlins this morning too. I have a new setup, and it's not performing. It's not behaving the way I'm expecting it to. So it may not be your system. It may be us this morning. But the book in Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book, Shere Kahn was born lame, and the other animals all made fun of him, and he was always jealous. He was always what's the word I'm looking for? Jealous is not the right word. Resentful? I don't know. But he was always trying to prove himself, and that's why he was always so mean and vicious, is because he was always made fun of by the other animals, and that kind of gives him a redeeming arc, and I don't like that. I like him better the way Disney presented him, as regal and quiet, never having to raise his voice. I think that is way more terrifying than a tiger who is all the time shrieking and screaming the way he's portrayed in Kipling's book. You know, he was voiced by a guy by the name of George Sanders, and George put on a rather a British accent, which I don't know. George Sanders may have had a British accent. I have no idea, but he put on a British accent, which would have represented colonialism to the India, where the book is set. Can't talk, Harding. Anyway, the quiet, no patience for the other animals. I'm much too busy killing things to be concerned about what's going on over here. I can't be bothered with your nonsense. I must kill the human child. Is way more, to me, way more vicious and terrifying than even Idris Elba. Idris Elba did a really good job in the live-action remake, but I don't feel like the live-action remake had the heart of either the book or the '67 Disney movie. To me, the remake had great cinematography and fantastic actors. Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson, fantastic actors. I just don't feel like they had the same heart that the subtle hint that the '67 movie or the book had. I mean, it just wasn't as. I don't feel like it was as petty and gritty as the book, and I don't feel like it was as fun and playful as the movie. So it was something in between. It was a good movie. It's a good movie. Just, I would have called it something else. Something more loosely based, like Essence of Jungle Book, you know. Kind of like this is Essence of Tigers. So there's about 5,000 tigers after that little foray into the wild there. There's about 5,000 tigers in the world. Less than 5,000 actually. And they struggle with habitat loss and human confrontation, and poachers of all things. And the thing that gets me about the poachers is, I mean, it's all nonsense. And I know they believe it. I know that this is ancient big medicine as far as they're concerned. But the idea that you can grind up an animal and absorb its essence, I mean, that's science fiction stuff. That's Muppet stuff. That's what the Skeksis were doing in the Dark Crystal. Essence of Gelfling. We're catching and killing Bengal tigers so we can grind up their bodies for virility. I have no patience for that sort of thing. All right, let's get some shadows on this. I started to dive into the color, and I realized I haven't done any shadows yet. I got so focused on the gremlins this morning. Tell me, can you hear the music this morning? Is it loud? I can't tell what's going on over there. I have to remember there's a lag. Can you hear it at all, Mom? She can't hear me. I have to wait for the computer to catch up to her. She said the music is fine, but like I said, there's a lag. It takes a minute. My friend Ivy says she can hear the music. If you're not following Ivy, my friend Ivy over there does she does gaming. She has a gaming channel, and she does sunflower. She has a sunflower coloring book. I think it's on Amazon. She has a sunflower coloring book, and she, like on the 4th of July, she streamed all day long while she pulled out her sunflower coloring book and colored in it. I got to visit with her for a little bit on the 4th of July. It was fun. But she says she normally can't hear the music, and today she can, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Can't talk, Harding. Where were we? Poachers, man. Poachers irritate me. If it's not elephants or rhinoceroses, I mean, they're rhinoceroses. There's no more white rhinoceroses. In our lifetime, there's no more white rhinoceroses because poachers thought that they could grind up parts of rhinoceros and share in its virility. Really? Tigers are a different story, though. Tigers have this big, beautiful pelt, big, bright orange, beautiful pelt. And rich people like to buy. Poor people like to buy it too, but they can't afford it. Rich people like to show off their riches by buying these pelts and staging these hunts where they can go shoot a tiger in a cage and say, "I am a mighty hunter." And I have mixed emotions about that because that whole community is dependent on that, and they use the money. They use the money to conserve the land for the tigers. So I mean, they're taking the older tigers and they're lining them up for the people to shoot, and in so doing, they're perpetuating the desire to shoot tigers. All right, that's getting away from us there. I gotta stop the music. when I streamed the music, when I downloaded the music, I could listen to it and I could listen. The player would play it right, but when I stream the music, sometimes it loses track of what it's streaming and it'll double stream on me, and that makes it where it's quite distracting. So yeah, I'm torn on the whole tiger hunting industry, but I hate the fact that there are only 5,000 tigers left. I do know that they're solitary animals, and they're not solitary animals because they hate each other or they'll fight or anything like that. It's because they're jungle animals, and the jungles don't typically lend themselves very well to hunting together. And so they're solitary by necessity. They'll tolerate each other. But they're not. It's really quiet in here now. They'll tolerate each other, but they're not social animals. I get so wrapped up in what I'm trying to do, I forget what I'm trying to say. As one does. Some of the conservation efforts, though, are to provide paths for migration, so that they can find each other for mating, and to set off big areas of land where they don't come in contact with humans at all. And that's a good thing, because these are big animals. These are the largest of all the cats. They're even bigger than lions. These are the largest of all the cats, and they will eat people if given the opportunity. They have a long history of eating people. They're not like the other cats. The other cats will avoid people, but tigers are not that way. No, not all cats. My mom's in the chat room saying she thought all cats were solitary. Domestic cats only let you pet them when they think it's okay. Yeah, there's some truth to that. But like lions have a pride. And they're not the only ones. Apparently jaguars have a pride too, but they have been fighting for food for so long that we just assumed that they were solitary. But it turns out that if there's plenty of food, they don't mind sharing the space. But tigers are not that way. Tigers are quite solitary. But they'll come up to you for tummy rubs and then claw your arm because you dared touch them. Again, that's how I will die in the forest. Here, kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst. I touched on George Saunders' rendition of Shere Kahn earlier. He did such a fantastic job with Shere Kahn that Jeremy Irons looked to him for inspiration when Jeremy Irons was voicing Scar on The Lion King. Jeremy Irons said, "That is exactly how you portray a big vicious cat. You don't portray it with screaming, shouting. You you portray it with raw strength of the quiet reserve. Let me dry this real quick, and then now we're going to find out if my new microphone will handle this. This might be loud. Said yep, so apparently that was pretty loud. Like the old days. Heat gun. But Jeremy Irons, yeah, I saw that. But Jeremy Irons, when Jeremy Irons did Scar, my mom's quoting the old show to me. Talk amongst yourselves. Where's the little girl to sing when we need her? When he was voicing Scar, he decided that he studied the methods of George Sanders so that he could do it the exact same way. And it's obvious because it's so fantastic. I wish that Idris Elba had paid attention to that, because his portrayal of Shere Kahn as a snarling, growling, shouting beast, to me was I mean, you could tell he was mean, but you couldn't tell he was in charge. My mom's alarm is going off, so that means that it is 6 o'clock. We're running late. But I have a little bit of time to finish this up. The gremlins this morning kind of bit into our time. But I think we're good there. Kind of looks like Tony the Tiger. The best part of the live action, the CGI remake, though, out of the whole thing, what is today? Today's the 7th, is that right? 07 July 2025. To me, the absolute best part of the whole movie is during the credits, when Scarlett Johansson sings "Trust in Me." Oh my goodness gracious, that was fantastic. That was absolutely fantastic. So I think I'm on the right window here. This is what it looks like compared to the photo reference. Let me get the camera down here, and I will tell you if it is. We can see real quick. How do I do this? Here we go. Again, we're learning this morning. Let's see them together so you can see it from my perspective. Well, of course the flash is going to work on a day when I don't want the flash to work, because, you know, Christopher. Alright, let's see. Pretty close. So that's what it looked like from my perspective. Alright, so that's today. The little girl has already pulled. I know Ivy says Scarlett Johansson's version gave her goosebumps. Gave me goosebumps. Alright, so the little girl has already pulled an egg for tomorrow. Let's see what we have here. I have to remember to fix that. So the egg here is, what do we have tomorrow? Tomorrow, Tuesday. I think she did this on purpose. We have carrots. So because she knows I have to go to work early on Tuesdays, I can't be late at all. So I think she set these aside for me and said, that's a Tuesday drawing. So this is what we're going to do tomorrow. If you're watching this Tuesday morning, July 8th, and it's before 5:30, this is what we're fixing to do. So just stick around. We'll get started on it. As of right now, it is Monday, and it is after 6, and I have got to get going. I appreciate you helping me get through the gremlins. I appreciate you joining me. Tomorrow is day 100, so there will be a bit of a celebration tomorrow. A little bit of extra dancing, a little bit of extra noise, maybe some extra sparkles. So be sure and tune in tomorrow, same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel, and then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, and hopefully when I click the button it will stop streaming. Who knows? I may be streaming all day long.